right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Weekend weather whiplash. From warmth to a chilly brisk breeze. The timing of thunderstorms that signal that big change.
Caught on camera, a viral challenge gone wrong.
Almost like a bomb going off.
Tonight, a local family's warning to teens and their parents. First tonight, emergency rule. The new limits on transgender health care for Missouri youth as the House votes to ban access.
Good evening, I'm Ann Allred. Mike Bush has the night off. Just hours ago, the Missouri House passed the Save Adolescents from Experimentation Act. If signed into law, it would make it illegal for doctors to provide gender transition health care to kids under the age of 18. Our Laura Barczewski joins us now with arguments from both sides of the issue. Laura?
And the bill sponsor says he believes this measure will truly protect children. But the parents I spoke with who have transgender children say that's the farthest thing from the truth.
Representative Brad Hudson says the Missouri SAFE Act would make it illegal for healthcare providers to perform gender transition surgeries and even prescribe hormone treatments and puberty blockers to kids under the age of 18.
I do want to make sure that doctors that would prescribe life-altering drugs or that would subject children to life-altering surgeries for gender transition purposes, kids under the age of 18, we want to make sure and send a clear message not to do that.
Hudson called the transition methods experimental and wrong.
These particular, especially some of these particular drugs, people do not know the long-term effects of these on children, even people within the medical community.
Danielle Meert, a mother of a transgender child, says transgender healthcare practices have been studied for decades and are essential for the well-being of transgender people.
The fact that these legislators are demonizing these wonderful pediatricians that have helped countless children. There's no words for the amount of evil.
Transparent President Susan Holla says her child started transitioning at the age of 15.
He was able to do all of his transitioning by the age of 18, and he then had his top surgery, and he was able to then move on to college as his true, authentic self, and he couldn't be happier with how he is. And as a parent, I couldn't be happier.
Paula says she didn't know where her child would be without access to gender-affirming care.
I don't know if he would still be here. I think the legislature always hates it when we bring up the suicide rates, but it's a fact, and it is not a contagion.
The bill now heads to the Senate, which already passed a bill that would exempt care for minors who already started treatment. That bill would expire in 4 years, unlike the House bill, which would remain in effect indefinitely.
Right around the same time, Missouri Attorney General officially issued an emergency order that goes into effect on April 27th. It will require minors to undergo 18 months of therapy before receiving gender-affirming health care. Doctors must also provide a lengthy list of potential negative side effects and warnings against those treatments. It expires next February. Breaking news tonight regarding Metrolink. Right now, Metrolink trains are not operating between Busch Stadium and Emerson Park in East St. Louis due to a security issue. This is happening just as Cardinals fans are leaving tonight's game. Metro is offering shuttles to all affected stations. Tonight, a woman struck by a car during a robbery at a South County gas station is fighting for her life. Police still haven't said anything about the driver or given a description of the car. Our Robert Townsend has the latest.
Everything looked normal and uneventful near the busy intersection of Union and Rivas Barracks Roads in South St. Louis County Thursday evening. But 24 hours ago,
I came out here for a break and I looked over and it was a bunch of policemen, detectives. They was putting the yellow tape up.
At this QT, it's here investigators say a woman was just simply putting gas in her car when someone hit her with a vehicle.
It's just crazy. You would never think that you would be in that position.
Janae Edwards remembers the victim's royal blue Navigator.
You can see the car from here, but I didn't know that was what was going on. Like, we thought that they was trying to rob her for her vehicle. It's kind of nervous because it happened during broad daylight.
Right across the street from the Circle K where Edwards works.
I seen the emblems pull off.
Police say after hitting the victim, the suspected robber sped off into oncoming traffic and headed towards I-55. Police say the woman's purse was also stolen, and listen to this, they tell us since January they've been called to this gas station 14 times to check out items stolen from vehicles.
But I have heard a lot of customers telling us how people who was parking behind here, there's no cameras back there, their cars was getting broken into.
Now she's thinking about the stranger, seriously hurt, pumping gas.
I'm glad that she's fighting for her life. I'm glad she's still alive.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Developing tonight, a motorcyclist is dead after a crash in Washington County. It happened just before 7 this morning on Route 8 in Mineral Point. According to the crash report, 44-year-old Nathan Wobble of Farmington was stopped in traffic when an SUV crashed into his bike from behind. He was wearing a helmet but died at the scene. The SUV driver was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. An 11-year-old boy has been left paralyzed after being shot inside of his home in East St. Louis. It happened shortly after midnight on North 39th Street. Illinois State Police say 2 women came to the house and argued with the boy's mother over clothing. That's when one of them started shooting. A bullet went through the wall and hit that boy. We spoke to a neighbor who says the violence has to stop.
Put the guns down, talk it over. You know, it don't make no sense for all this violence in the community. And this is a quiet street. Most of these people live here. They live here for 40, 50 years. They shouldn't have to put up with that.
The 2 women were arrested after a pursuit. Charges are pending. Tonight, a different approach to fighting crime that puts the power into the hands of the community. It's called data-informed community engagement, a new concept St. Louis is investing in with hopes of finding solutions. 5 on your sides. Brent Solomon is live downtown to explain how it works. Brent.
Well, Ann, this is something that's already taking off in Dallas, Texas, Newark, New Jersey, and now St. Louis. Everyday people working to figure out where crimes are happening and how to put a stop to it.
You got 14-year-old boys riding around with AR-15s and they're not afraid to pull the trigger.
Candid conversation in a room full of community leaders, elected officials, and everyday people who just want change. They met at the National Urban League for the launch of a new initiative not sponsored by any business or organization. This is a grassroots effort.
This is another way for us to invest in community and say, we trust you. You are just as much an expert as what goes on your block as any of the scientists are that study crime trends.
She's talking about the Public Safety Collaborative. People from various neighborhoods trained on what's called risk terrain modeling, focusing on not who's committing crimes, but places where they're happening.
And why are the contexts and opportunities occurring at these places, and how can we address those opportunities and mitigate those risks?
Rutgers University professor Joel Kaplan came up with the technology that local people will use to identify what they're seeing and how often.
Figure out how non-law enforcement approaches can be utilized to address these problems.
Those who are trained can input data into software accessible on tablets or mobile devices. That data is then analyzed over time.
Now we are then able to go to the Board of Aldermen, go to Jefferson City, go to Washington, D.C., and say, based on this data from these various perspectives, we need investment, we need resources here, right now.
Putting power into the hands of the people to take back their neighborhoods.
It gives us an opportunity to make the table bigger, to bring more people into this issue, and to do things a different way than we have for decades. So, thank you.
Now, the Center for Policing Equity and the City of St. Louis are footing the bill for this multi-year program. There's a 5-hour training happening tomorrow, and I'm told they're already at capacity. Live in St. Louis, Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
Tonight, a tech consultant is behind bars and charged with murder. Police say he killed St. Louis native and Cash App founder Bob Lee. Police say 38-year-old Nima Momenti and Bob Lee, this is Bob Lee here, knew each other, but did not elaborate on their relationship. Police found Lee with stab wounds in a neighborhood in San Francisco earlier this year. earlier this month, he later died at the hospital. Now the district attorney's office is working to make sure the right person is held accountable.
My office will be filing a motion to detain Mr. Momenti without bail to ensure that he remains in custody during the pendency of this case due to the obvious and severe public safety risks that we believe that he poses to the public.
Lee graduated from Lindbergh High School. Momenti is expected to be arraigned tomorrow. A warning tonight for drivers in St. Charles County. Right now, 3 lanes of westbound 70 at the Blanchette Bridge are closed. MoDOT crews are working on emergency concrete repairs. Repairs are expected to be done by noon tomorrow. There are changes coming to Stray Rescue of St. Louis. Today, the nonprofit laid out its plan for its new facility at 4084 Bingham Avenue. The location will expand the vet clinic, create an education and community center, apartments for dogs, and swimming pools. The chief development officer says the new facility will give them more space for new opportunities.
We really have outgrown the space here. We're not able to help as many animals as we'd like to. We're not able to help the community as much as we would like to. And the new space will definitely give us more opportunities for more volunteer opportunities.
There are 3 phases to the project. Right now, the money will go to the first phase of construction. It's expected to be completed next summer.
What was that noise?
Tonight, consequences of a social media challenge, and it was all caught on camera. Tonight, a local family's warning to others. U.S. military secrets exposed. Tonight, the service member accused of leaking classified government documents in an online chat room.
Saturday is a weather alert day, when thunderstorms are expected and why some of them may pack a punch.
Viral challenges. They are often dangerous and teenagers are highly influenced by them. One local 13-year-old and his family made the brave decision to share their story and show how the risk isn't worth the clicks.
Watch the upper left part of your screen. A 13-year-old in an Ellisville neighborhood inflating a basketball when this happens.
What was that noise? It's a gunshot, a firework. Almost like a bomb going off.
The basketball explodes, with Melissa Kramer's son Max standing right over it.
And just like, boom.
He was rushed to the hospital where they found out his hand took the brunt of it. But he also scratched both corneas and had partial hearing loss.
At first I thought, oh my gosh, well, surely that was an accident.
But it was no accident. Max saw a viral challenge online that involves overinflating a basketball.
He had a video of some friends that had done something similar.
Max told me the social media feeds of teenagers are inundated with risky videos.
It's like everywhere. Like you'll see a lot of people just doing every challenge, like just trying to find new stuff to do.
And why? Why do they want to do it?
Content. It's like money, like trying to get new stuff.
Oh, they do it to get content so they'll get more followers.
Luckily, doctors say Max will fully heal. Mom hopes he's learned life is full of consequences.
He was very scared. I think he's still scared now about what could have happened and how this could have gone down.
Experts say these tweens and teens often don't consider the real risks or consequences, and parents should constantly talk to their kids about how online stunts that seem silly and fun can go wrong and cause injuries. Also tonight, new information into the investigation of leaked classified U.S. intelligence documents. The FBI arrested a 21-year-old member of the Massachusetts Air National Guard at his home this afternoon. Sources say federal investigators narrowed their search down to people who had access to the documents and the Discord social media group where it was posted. The Pentagon calls it a willful violation.
We continue to work around the clock, along with the interagency and the intelligence community, to better understand the scope, scale, and impact of these leaks.
The suspect will make his first appearance in federal court tomorrow. Tonight, thousands of Dreamers enrolled in the DACA program will soon be able to apply for Medicaid or enroll in a health care plan through the Affordable Care Act. President Biden made the announcement in a social media post saying health care should be a right, not a privilege. He adds Dreamers should have the same opportunities. The White House expects to have this in place by the end of the month. The Boston Marathon is just 4 days away. Today, workers finished installing the finish line on Boylston Street, where 30,000 runners will cross. This year marks the 10th anniversary of the Boston Marathon bombings, which killed 3 people and injured hundreds of others. Security has already ramped up across the city. Help is on the way tonight for Hyundai owners. The automaker and AAA announced they're teaming up to offer insurance options for customers. Some insurance companies dropped coverage because of skyrocketing car thefts popularized on TikTok. Now, under this program, AAA insurers will issue new and renewal policies for eligible Hyundai owners. Hyundai is also expediting free anti-theft software to affected customers. This program, only for Hyundai. It does not include Kias. Tonight, 4 million people remain under flood alerts in South Florida. More than 20 inches of rain fell in a matter of hours, causing major flooding. People were left stranded in their cars and homes. Flooding has even led to the closure of the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport. The runways are flooded.
We came down here for sunshine and water and sand, but we got the wrong kind of water today.
Right now, flights in and out of Fort Lauderdale are canceled through 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Grant's Farm is delaying the opening of its season because of the threat of severe weather this weekend. The farm was supposed to open this coming Saturday, but now it will open on Sunday. However, all the opening day festivities, including a live DJ and fireworks, they're being rescheduled at an even later date on April 29th. Let's get to Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell with our severe weather threat this weekend. Scott.
Yeah, and it's really limited to about maybe a 2 or 3 hour period later Saturday when we're really going to have to watch the skies. We'll show you some of the impacts potentially from that in a few minutes, but we wanted to take you over to Forest Park this evening. The ball fields are all still lit up. Looks like there's a couple of folks out there on one of the fields enjoying tonight's nice weather and not playing on a muddy infield either. Temperatures still well into the 60s around the St. Louis area. A few of our outlying areas starting to drop back into the upper 50s. That includes over at Scott Air Force Base, down to Salem, Missouri, as well as up at Smart Field in St. Charles. But Lambert's still on the mild side right now, 67 degrees. High today, 81. That's after our low this morning of 51 degrees. So pretty good return once again. We think tomorrow morning will start out just a little bit warmer, mid 50s, low 50s. We do have some high clouds that are backing in from the south and the southeast. That's part of this system that's swirling tonight across Mississippi. It was stuck just off the coast of Louisiana last night. It has now begun its slow process of moving towards the eastern portions of Tennessee and Kentucky and eventually towards the mid-Atlantic. For us, it's basically taking some of that moisture and throwing those high thin clouds back towards the St. Louis area. So that's what we had this afternoon around St. Louis. Next weather system starting to get organized coming out of the Rockies. We're already starting to see some showers breaking out now across parts of the Dakotas down into Nebraska. Going into tomorrow out the door, fantastic. A mix of sun and clouds on the way. Winds are light early tomorrow morning. We start in the 50s. Like the last couple of days, we are back into the 70s by lunchtime. It is an outstanding Friday across the bi-state area. Cardinals tomorrow night taking on the Pirates once again. No problems. It's a day game on Saturday. That bodes well for the Cardinals. We'll talk about City SC in just a second. There's your severe weather threat for Saturday. Lining up into the St. Louis area. This is a level 2 out of 5 threat from the Storm Prediction Center. And really the two big issues we may have will be some wind gusts and hail. You can't completely rule out an isolated tornado, but it doesn't look like the conditions really favor that at this point. So let's start with Saturday morning with our Weather First Futurecast. We'll probably have a mix of sun and clouds early on. There might even be a couple of morning sprinkles, but they'll move off to the north. Then it's partly cloudy. We heat up to around 80, if not into the 80s. And as that front approaches from the west, we head towards 5, 6 o'clock. Showers and thunderstorms will start to blossom ahead of that. They will push to the east. Some of these have some downpours, potentially those gusty winds, potentially some hail. Through the evening hours, they're sliding over St. Louis. This is 8 o'clock. Supposed to be playing soccer at 8 o'clock. If there's lightning, Major League Soccer usually kind of postpones or delays the game. We'll see how that goes. But again, later in the evening, all of that's pressing out of the area. So it's a quick hit of storms, late day in the evening. It will be a weather alert day because we do have that threat for some of those storms to be a bit stronger with some wind and some hail. Temperatures would still be in the 70s. Again, they're supposed to get the pitch, 7:30. We will keep you posted. Tonight, 50s for lows. Tomorrow, how about 80 again for the high? Sun and clouds on the way for tomorrow, and your next 10 days, well, here's the dip in the temperatures for Sunday. Still say Saturday's the pick day, even though we've got that 2 or 3 hour window where we've got to watch for those storms, because Sunday, it's gusty, it's chilly, temperatures are only in the 50s, and it won't even feel like that.
All right, so no, not necessarily there's a pick day of the weekend. But...
yeah, the first 3/4 of Saturday.
All right, thank you, Scott. Frank, what's coming up?
If you are a St. Louis sports fan, don't buy a lottery ticket. Everybody lost tonight, but City SC is preparing for a big one, and Dennis Gates has some intriguing recruiting thoughts at Mizzou.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
Here's the thing about the Pittsburgh Pirates. When you have had 4 straight losing seasons, and in 2 of those years, you've lost 100 games, you are going to get high draft picks, you are going to acquire talent. Bottom line, playing them is no longer a day at the park. The Cardinals flashed a little leather early. Nolan Arenado, right place, right time. Jordan Montgomery, pretty sharp, 6 1/3 and 2 earned runs. 4th inning, defensive play of the day. Tyler O'Neill with a shot to center, and Jaewon Bay will take a shot but make the catch. The Cardinals bullpen has been good, but tonight the Bucks made them pay. First it was Connor Joe taking Genesis Cabrera deep. The next hitter, Rudolfo Castro. He did the same. Over 800 feet worth of homers, and the Pirates led it 4-0 in the 8th inning. The only thing interesting late would be if the remarkable rookie Jordan Walker would extend his hitting streak to 13 games. The answer is no. Pirates win 5-0. Rays superfan Agnes Inglis is 106 and had never been to a game until today. Good timing, Agnes. Randy Rosarina broke a 3-all tie with the Red Sox. His base hit was part of a 5-run inning as Tampa Bay wins their 13th 9-3. That ties the modern record for wins to start a season. The Blues have officially played out the string. Now, before the season, I don't think anybody thought it was all going to end on April 13th, but it did in Dallas, Texas. Jordan Montgomery got the start in goal for the 60th time, only the 7th Blues goaltender to start 60 or more. And the Stars didn't care. Wyatt Johnson will get his 24th goal, and it's 1-0 Stars. In a meaningless last game, the Blues did show some heart, firing 5 shots on net in the final minute. Stars win 1-0. Blues finish 37-38 and 7.
This 5 on your side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
I would say the MLS is in pretty good shape. Consider this. We have this packed house of 22,000 for every City SC game. They can't get any more in. Well, St. Louis is 10th in the MLS in attendance. This is a popular league. Their opponent this weekend, Cincinnati FC, they draw $25,000 a game, and City SC will be tested. Cincinnati comes in with an identical 5-2 record. While City SC has struggled offensively lately, they've been shut out 2 games in a row, Cincinnati can really defend. They already have recorded 5 shutouts on the season, but City SC will not come in timid. They can't.
There's no place in the mind for doubt. When you start doubting, that's where you create backlog and you start questioning everything you do, and there's no time for that.
The level of the MLS, and if any one of us thought it was any other than that difficult, this is what it is. It's really difficult to get points, whether you're on the road or, playing at home. We know we're going to have an energized city park and tons of fans coming to support us. And we're going to need every ounce of energy, every ounce of spirit and connection.
Mizzou basketball was a joy to watch this season, not only because they won 25 games and went to the tournament, but that was a fun, full-court style of making threes. Their only issue was a lack of size and rebounding, and they may not address either in this recruiting class. Listen to this.
Just because it's size, it has to be the right size. We've turned down size this year because it wasn't the correct size that we needed that fit our system defensively and offensively. But you got to have the right pieces that work together. You don't want to have any kind of errors in the recruiting. As we know, the margin of error is very slim.
And that will do it in sports.
Thank you, Frank. You don't have to click your heels for a wicked deal for tickets to the Fox, but it does require a few swipes on your phone. Things are getting wicked at the Fabulous Fox. Now you have a chance to get tickets for just $25 to see a performance of the hit Broadway musical next week. You must download Lucky Seat app. The lottery will close at 10:30 tomorrow morning. Meet this year's winners of the 13th annual St. Louis Teen Talent Competition. First place went to Raquan Strickland from Central VPA High School. He won $8,000. Noah Van S. from Lindbergh took home second place and a $6,000 prize. Avery Payne from Orchard Farm High School came in third, winning $4,000. There's a new canine puppy for the Mall of America's security team. Looks scary, doesn't he? This is Dash. He's a 2-month-old Dutch Shepherd and Belgian Malinois mix. The public was asked to vote between the top 5 names to join the team, and Dash became the fan favorite. He will spend the next year training before helping to guard the mall. That is all of our time for 5 on Your Side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next. Please start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. and have a great Friday tomorrow.